Hey, there we are. Back to normal. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today, we're talking about the weight loss motivation death match. And I phrase it that way because if you're struggling to get yourself to lose weight, right? You think about it all the time, but you're not actually doing anything to make it happen and your weight's not going down, then we need to look at your motivation. And there's a good chance that you think you're motivated and you're focusing on the things you think you should motivate you, but they're not. And so the idea of the motivation death match is to put the most common motivators against the motivations that I have. And I think you'll see very quickly the reason why I'm at my goal weight for the last 30 years. And it's not because I have extra willpower. It's not even just because I have great strategies, although it's a part of it. It's primarily because my motivation is so much higher than the average person's because of how I think of this. And so we'll start with wearing a bathing suit to the beach compared to I want to live longer. So let's put those two together. No, again, I want to, before I even start this, I'm not saying these are mutually exclusive. Obviously, you can think both of these. But what I want to point out to you is that when I say your motivation to wear a bathing suit to the beach versus your motivation to live as long as you can and how that relates to your weight, which one feels more inspiring? Which one do you think about more? And there's a good chance for you that you're primarily thinking about wearing a bathing suit to the beach, something like that. If it's not specifically wearing a bathing suit to the beach, it's wearing a dress to the, a fancy place, a nice outfit to, some social event, something like that. But I want you to compare. And again, viscerally, you're not going to feel this. Okay. But logically, I want you to think about this in your life from where you're at right now, however old you are, to however long you imagine you're going to live for. And everyone kind of has an internal clock here, right? Which one of those things, when you really step into how long you want to live and the quality of life you want to have while you're here, which one do you think ultimately in your life, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years from now is going to be more important to you? How you looked in an outfit or how long you're able to live on this planet for? So hopefully when you take a step back and think about it, it's obvious that the longevity thing is way more important to you. But again, I want to bring you back to the original thing that it was how you look probably that really was the main thing that you initially think about with your weight. Okay. So let's go to the next one, right? And it's built kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit different where I want to look good in pictures. Okay. And I'm going to put up against that I want to be able to be mobile and independent physically for as long as I possibly can as a human being alive. Okay. So you want to look good in pictures, right? And I want to have the freedom of movement, independence, be able to take care of myself, go up and down stairs, carry things, do chores, and have a great quality of life where I can move around and be free and independent for as long as I possibly can. So again, when you take a step back, which one do you typically think when you want to lose weight? Which motivation pops in your head naturally when you think you want to lose weight? Is it more that I want to look good in pictures, or is it that you want to have the independence and the freedom, the mobility to move and be the person you want to be? And again, you're probably going to find that it's more about wanting to look good in pictures. Okay, so I could keep going on. Basically, what you would find out if we boiled this down is that most of your motivation for weight loss is built on extrinsic rewards, meaning you need someone else there to really get the value of that. So if you wear an outfit, it's because other people look at you and think you look amazing. You see a picture of you, holy shit, you look great in your picture. Okay, you lost some weight. They come say, "Oh my God, you look amazing," and that is what you've been conditioned and trained to use as your main motivation for weight loss. And while there's nothing wrong with those things, by the way, there's absolutely nothing wrong with those. The core problem, though, is that they're not motivating enough. Certainly not when you compare them to how long you're going to live, your quality of life while you're living. Those things ought to be more important. And in reality, you're going to find become more important regardless, because when you start getting into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, what absolutely ends up happening is you absolutely get more fixated on the longevity and the quality of life while you're here. That becomes far more important than how you look to other people. And so this is where the real motivation comes from. And if you can ground and root your motivation in these bigger reasons, then we can also layer on wanting to look better too. But now we've really boosted our motivation in a very, very profound and powerful way. So give this some thought. Really think about the deeper reasons why you want to lose weight and connect to them. Again, it takes a little bit more thought and energy to connect to those because you've not been conditioned your whole life to think about those. You have been conditioned your whole life to think about weight loss motivation in terms of looking better. That's why it's easier. And so if you want some help with this, make sure you click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session I give you, the training video I made for you, the emails I send you, all of it's free. Okay. You can go check that out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Again, you click the link in my bio. I say where that was, or programyourselfthin.com. So everyone's have a nice Friday. What's up? Gratitude 108 says, any tips on controlling ravenous hunger caused by increased daily cardio exercise? Thanks. Okay. Yeah, I got lots of tips for this. So first thing first is that we cannot have ravenous hunger. Okay? We cannot live in a state of ravenous hunger and continue to eat less or healthier for long. Okay. Because when you're ravenously hungry, every part of your brain and body are steering you towards eating more food. So you're not going to be able to sustain for long being ravenous. Okay. So the first thing that's really good is that you do know you've put together the ravenous hunger with increased daily cardio exercise. Okay. But now is where you've got to kind of negotiate, I would say, is how I would look at it. So what you're doing, it sounds like you're doing what a lot of people do, and they start working out, they start increasing their energy output, and they try and keep the calories low or at the same level, right? Because that's how you're going to lose weight. Makes sense. But what ends up happening is that you are doing a lot more energy output and your body is signaling all these internal mechanisms to make you really, really hungry. It is just cranking up the hunger, cranking up the motivation to eat. And I do not believe you will be able to sustain at a ravenous level. So my answer would be, first off, to take one step back and say, well, I did, but when I suggest how people lose weight, I do not suggest that they start with a lot of increased exercise, whether it be cardio or resistance based, because of this exact reason. You're going to get really hungry and it's going to throw you way off balance. So when I suggest when people start focusing on their weight, you put all of your energy into your eating, your eating, your lifestyle, your mindset. And exercising is great. Again, I exercise has lots and lots of benefits. Losing weight is not really one of them. Increased exercising is not really a benefit of losing weight is not really a benefit of increased exercise, just so you know, because your body will actually, there's a thing called the total expenditure limit. I'm blanking on the name there, but I can't think of it. But anyways, basically your body just gets really good at triggering you to eat more when you put more output out. And so when I get back to the negotiation, I would want to bring my ravenous hunger down to a mild hunger. That's I think your best chance if you want to continue with the increased daily cardio exercise. Now, again, my question to you would be, why are you doing increased cardio exercise? I'm going to assume I'm going to hear because I want to burn a lot of calories and lose weight. I'm going to assume that's what you're going to say. And if that's not the case, let me know. But again, I would not put my energy into doing lots of cardio exercising, because you're going to put all of your willpower and energy into getting yourself to do cardio exercising. Now, on the other side of that exercising, you're going to be more tired, you're going to be hungrier, you're going to be more sore, and you're going to experience the licensing effect. And all of these things are going to push you to overeat. And now it becomes a real struggle. So for me personally, I would save all of that energy and aim my willpower at dialing down my eating, dialing down the calories in the most comfortable way possible. And it's the same thing. Again, you do not need to do cardio to lose weight at all. You do not need to exercise to lose weight at all. All you need to do to lose weight is to turn down your average calorie consumption. So, but if you do want to do cardio and an increased one that's making you ravenous, you're going to have to find a sweeter spot. Because I know you want to be ravenous because you think that's what's going to make you lose weight the quickest. And it would if you could stick with it. But when you're ravenous, you will not stick with it. And so it will not be the fastest method because you will only do it for a little while longer, then you will stop, and then you will stop losing any weight. So it's an illusion. These extreme things we're taught to do to lose weight are illusions. Intense diets, intense exercise programs, they're all illusions when it comes to actually losing weight because they overwhelm you and you only do them for a little while. So yes, while on paper, if you increase your cardio exercise and don't increase any calorie intake and you maintain that for a long time, you will lose weight faster than if you didn't do that. But in the real world, you're experiencing the ravenous hunger, but there's also, you're probably more tired. You have less willpower because you're using it to get yourself to do the cardio, and there's the licensing effect, which is a huge, huge issue as well. So there's my answer to that. That's what I would say. I love getting on here telling people not to exercise to lose weight. It makes me happy. That's the bagel with cream cheese. What's up? What up? What up? Ravenous hunger equals yummy. Yeah, ravenous hunger equals yummy for two reasons. One of my favorite quotes is that hunger is the best sauce. Oh, shit. Hunger is the best sauce. Hunger is the best ingredient, whichever way you want to put it. So yes, when you are hungry, eating is extra amazing for sure. But on the other side, ravenous hunger equals yummy because you're going to eat when you're ravenously hungry. So, you do not want to subsist and you don't want to live your life in a ravenous hungry state. No part of your body wants to do that. So to try and force that on yourself and convince yourself and try and live in that state is a real uphill battle. And uphill battles tend not to last too long. Have you noticed, folks? Again, if you haven't been able to stick with your diet, what do you think? I know you're always blaming yourself, but I think sometimes it's important to look at the strategy and see if it's too overwhelming. What's up, Don? How's it going? Yep. Happy Friday for sure. It's so beautiful. I hope it stays beautiful. I thought it was going to rain this afternoon. Not that I even mind. I don't even mind rain, but it's been a lot of rain lately. It'd be nice to get, but it's get a Friday night with a little bit of sun. That'd be all right too. What's up, Sophie? Happy Friday. Gratitude 108 said, I am recovering from a heart procedure and I'm doing MD's cardio rehab to recover my stamina. Okay. Well, very good. I'm glad you told me that. And so that's a different story, right? So yeah, you want to do the cardio because you got other reasons to do it. Okay. So great. But that being said, you're going to do more cardio. You're going to burn more energy and you're going to be a lot hungrier. So the secret is, now I know a lot of times when people get in the situation, they start exercising more and they try not to eat anything more, right? Because they're trying to maximize that calorie deficit. And again, it sounds great on paper, but you've got to manage that in real life. You've got to recognize, again, ravenous is no good. So we want to dial down the ravenous to, mild hunger. That's the sweet spot to lose weight. And so eat some more food. But the good side as well, let me share this with you. So you're going to keep the cardio up. You're going to do that. You're going to be hungrier. But now you're in a situation where you can intentionally add more food in. Now, this is actually really important because we don't want to just eat more food randomly. And we don't want to just not let ourselves eat any more food so that we're ravenous. Neither one of those are good. What we want to do is use this as an opportunity to add in as clean a food as we can, right? Because it's new. So right at this moment in time, there's nothing in your mind it's not like those extra calories that you want to eat because of the extra energy, it's kind of a new space, right? It's a new hunger, new food's going to come into it. So now's a perfect opportunity to choose those foods intentionally and really seek to choose the cleanest, healthiest food you can put in there. Fruits, vegetables, salads, smoothies, just things that are really, really clean. So you're going to put some more calories in your body because you're burning a lot more. But we're still going to aim to maintain a lower calorie level. And we're going to look to do it in the cleanest way possible, cleanest foods possible, and again, that's a scale. But if you do that, it kind of sets you up to use this as an opportunity to install a new healthy eating habit and program yourself. Then that's really the whole core of the program, is that we're constantly just working again, there's three levels to it. There's the mindset, lifestyle, and eating, but the eating side of it really is built around the ratio of clean to pleasure foods, if you will. And we're constantly looking to structure more clean eating into our plan. And the cleaner you eat, the easier it is to manage your weight. No doubt about it. Just so you know. And I think that's a perspective that's overlooked so much, because so much with weight loss is just about straight calories. And within that, it's kind of this idea that it doesn't matter about the calories. Fast food, junk food, doesn't matter. Just calories. And your job is to just cut them down. That's how you lose weight. But that is bullshit. That is complete and utter bullshit, because processed junk food, fast food stuff, the calories in that come in a completely different package that nudge you and drive you to overeat a lot more of them compared to whole natural foods, which the wrapper whole natural foods come in. Those calories, they satisfy you much more. So you get way more satisfaction value, satiety value, when you consume whole, clean, natural foods than you do processed junk food, fast food stuff. So the, it comes down to kind of quantity, quality of your calories. That's the main factor of what's driving your eating and your weight ultimately. So I think a lot of times with diets, it's really just about, they make it just about the calories. But again, if you're eating a lot of junk food and fast food, it's gonna be a lot harder to cut your calories down. But anyways, good luck, Gratitude 108. I hope the recovery is going well. And then the clean fast foods that you add in as well, I think it's a double whammy, because now, you're doing exercises to help yourself cardiovascularly. And I think you're getting kind of a couple benefits, right? So you're doing the exercises to get to kind of help your cardiovascular situation get stronger. If you do start to focus on clean, healthy foods to help that hunger, you're going to be putting clean, healthy foods into your body that are going to help you recover quicker, right? Because your body loves them. And then by doing that, by not just trying not to eat anything and eating clean, healthy foods, you're going to reduce your stress level. Because when you're ravenously hungry, it's a state of stress and anxiety. It's a very unpleasant state to be in. And your mind gets obsessed with food. You're constantly thinking about it. You're fighting against yourself. It's a very challenging, difficult way to be. Unpleasant. So you really get multiple benefits out, I think, of that approach of, really focus on the clean, healthy foods and adding those in. So, yep. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask them. I have a quiet day here. That's always okay too. But if anyone's got any questions on a Friday, and it can be anything, by the way. I know a lot of times people don't really think necessarily about weight loss on a Friday, but I find some of my best clients, you kind of join and are thinking about weight on a Friday, I guess. Program Yourself is kind of an outlier program. It really is kind of for unusual people, I suppose. So it's usually unusual people that are thinking about weight loss on a Friday. But no questions. All right, very good. All right, everyone. If you're not in my world, go click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself. Then go get the free hypnosis session I give you, the training I made for you, the emails I got for you, the goal weight quiz that I made for you. All of it's free. All of it's free to try and help you get control of your weight and get back to your goal weight. That's my goal for you, is to live at your goal weight. And I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. So if you have any questions, pop on here, ask them. I will do my best to answer them. And if you like this and you miss it and you want to listen to it, it's a podcast as well. Program Yourself. Then check out the podcast platforms. I'm on them, and you can listen to this. So have a super day. We'll talk soon. Bye.